Captain Mara Vance slammed her fist on the armrest. Helm full thrust into their picket line, tactical light up every sensor. The UNSS Relentless surged forward. Alien picket drones scattered like startled insects. Their purple hulls gleamed under Saul's distant light. Vance's bridge crew snapped to stations. No one spoke. They knew the stakes. "Comms open, Captain," Ensign Patel said. Vance leaned forward, her voice cut through the static. "Imperial forces, this is Captain Mara Vance of the United Nations starship Relentless. Withdraw from Sol system immediately. This is your only demand," silence answered. Then laughter crackled over the open channel. A guttural alien tongue, translated by the ship's AI. Admiral Keth Vor's flagship loomed on the main view screen. The Kragath battle carrier dwarfed Relentless. Its spinal lance glowed, charging. On Vor's bridge, the Admiral's mandibles clicked in amusement. His officers crowded the holotank. Human signatures blinked, one lone frigate against his 80-ship fleet. "Primitives," Vor rumbled. His voice boomed through his command deck. "Tag that insect for the kill list. Warning barrage first. Show them Kragath mercy." His gunnery chief saluted. "Aye, Admiral, pattern fire, Sector Alpha." Vor watched the holotank. The human ship drove straight on. No evasion, no retreat. Foolish, Relentless shuddered. Alarms wailed. Enemy beams slashed space around her. "Damage minimal," Chief Nya Akoy reported from engineering. Her voice stayed level. "Shields at 80%. Rerouting power from after rays." Vance nodded. "Good, Sato mapped that barrage." Commander Ilya Sato's fingers flew over his console. Sensor ghosts danced in his display. Kragath beams followed, predictable arcs, wide spreads to intimidate. "Pattern locked," Sato said. "Recharge cycle 4.2 seconds between volleys. Safest gap at bearing 270, micro-jump viable." Vance's eyes narrowed. Knife fight range meant point blank. Risky, but her crew thrived on it. "Plot it, Lieutenant Alvarez, weapons hot on arrival." Ren Alvarez cracked his knuckles. "Rails primed, missiles spooled, timing their cycles now," Akoy patched through. "Jump drive green, hull stress at limits, but she'll hold." Vance gripped her chair. "Execute." Relentless vanished in a warp flash. Space folded. They reappeared inside the Kragath screen. Picket ships surrounded them, 2 kilometers out, close enough to see enemy crews scrambling through viewports. Vor's bridge erupted. "What sorcery?" His tactical officer gaped at the holotank. The human frigate hung amid his vanguard, rails already spitting fire. "Impossible jump precision," the officer barked. "They're inside our net," Vor's mandibles snapped. "Concentrate fire, lance the core," Relentless danced. Vance called maneuvers. "Evasive pattern delta, Alvarez volley on the battle carrier's ventral batteries," Alvarez fired. Railgun slugs punched through a picket's shields. The alien ship vented plasma, debris pinged off Relentless's hull. "Direct hit," Alvarez said, no cheer, just data. "Enemy recharge in 1.8 seconds, next volley synced." Sato updated the plot. 3 pickets vectoring in. Battle carrier turning, blind arc exposed. Akoy grunted over comms. "Taking flak on starboard, sealing breaches, power shunted to forward shields." Vance smelled ozone, sparks flew from a panel. Her crew patched it mid-firefight. Precision born of drills. Grief from lost colonies fueled it, no rage, just resolve. "Microburn to flank the carrier," Vance ordered. "Sato, designate targets." Relentless twisted. Engines roared. She slipped between 2 pickets. Alvarez's missiles lanced out. One struck a drone's reactor. It bloomed into a fireball, clipping its wingman. Vor roared. His fleet closed the noose. Beams converged. Relentless's shields flared crimson. "Shields critical," Akoy yelled. "Dropping to 50, rerouting Aux reactors, gimme 10 seconds." "Hold her together, Chief," Vance said, calm as math. Sato's console beeped. "Carriers lance charging, gap in their crossfire, bearing 45. Take it." Vance punched the comm. "All hands brace." Relentless rolled. She threaded the barrage. A beam grazed her flank. Hull groaned. Alvarez timed it perfect. Rails barked. Slugs tore into the carrier's unshielded battery. Explosions rippled along its belly. Vor staggered as his deck shook. "Damage report." "Forward batteries offline," his chief snapped. "Humans," they predicted the recharge. The Admiral's eyes locked on the holotank. The single frigate weaved through his pickets like a predator. No panic, every shot counted. "They're not breaking," an officer whispered. Vor snarled. "Flank them, overwhelm," Relentless pressed. Vance watched the carrier loom larger. Sato fed her firing solutions. Alvarez executed. Another picket died. Its wreckage screened relentless from the next volley. Okoye patched in. Shields regenerating, jump drive spooling for evasion if needed. Not yet, Vance said. We're in their face now, push. Alarms blared anew. Kragath corvettes swarmed, missiles streaked. Sato plotted intercepts. Incoming spread, Alvarez got it. Alvarez's point defense lasers danced, half the missiles vaporized, the rest splashed harmlessly, Vor's bridge filled with smoke. A human slug had pierced their outer hull, crew dragged wounded away. Admiral, the frigate's tactics superior, his tactical officer admitted. They exploit every redundancy. Vor hesitated. His fleet encircled the human ship. Numbers should win, yet Relentless fought like 10. Pull back the vanguard, Vor ordered. Regroup for lance shot. His officers blinked. Retreat from one ship. Relentless's bridge hummed. Vance's crew breath steady. Sato's plot showed the carrier withdrawing. They're peeling off, Sato said. Vance allowed a thin smile. Good, Alvarez, one more volley. Tag their command deck. Rails thundered. Slugs arced true. Vor dove as impacts rocked his flagship. Consoles exploded. His holotank flickered. Evacuate sector, he bellowed. The human ship hung there, unbroken. Demanding respect with every precise kill, Vance straightened. Comms open. Admiral Vor, this is what human resolve looks like. Withdraw or we carve through your fleet. Silence stretched. Then Vor's voice returned. No laughter now. Human, you fight like demons. Not demons, Vance replied, just disciplined. Relentless idled amid the wreckage. Picket hulks drifted. The Kragath fleet hung back. Sato glanced up. They're holding position, scanning us. Let them, Vance said. We've shown them the math, Okoye chimed in. Ship's holding at 80%. Ready for round 2. Alvarez reloaded. Targets locked. Vance nodded. One ship, one crew, an empire paused, but the battle wasn't over. Vor's lance glowed anew. The real test loomed. Relentless shuddered as Kragath lances locked on her core. Red targeting pings swarmed Sato's plot. Vance gripped her command rail. Full burn lateral drift, port thrusters max. Evasive pattern Delta 7. Helm officer keyed the order. Ion drives roared. Relentless sliced sideways at 3 Gs, hull groaning under torque. Enemy beams stabbed vacuum late wide. Kragath gunners chased the ghost track, overcorrecting into empty space. They're lagging, Sato said, eyes flicking across sensor ghosts. Predictive algorithms can't match our vector shift. Vance nodded once. Alvarez staggered rail volleys. Prioritize escorts on our flank, their radiator spines. Shared cooling arrays make them fragile. Gunnery deck thrummed. Alvarez's voice cut through comms, steady as a heartbeat. Rails hot, Captain. Firing solutions synced to their recharge nadir. Volleys away. Magnetic coils spat tungsten fury. First salvo arced low, slugs blooming into the lead escort's spine. Radiators shattered in a plasma flare. The Kragath ship yawed, engines starving for heat dump. Second volley punched the second escort's identical weak point. Armor peeled back. Core breach alarms lit their hull. Third escort tried to jink. Too slow. Alvarez timed the shot perfect. Enemy capacitors dipped empty. Slugs tore through the spine, venting coolant in a glittering plume. 3 hulks drifted, crippled weapons dark. Vance watched the plot clear. Clean kills, Okoye status on our rails. Engineering chief's gravel voice patched in. Coils at 92%. Rerouted auxiliary power from dorsal arrays. She's thirsty, but she'll drink. Kragath pickets scattered. But the carrier reformed line astern, heavier silhouettes detaching, cruisers with phased lances. Sato's fingers danced. Admiral Vor's committing his hammers, closing the noose bearing 040. Vance's jaw set. Numbers still favored them, but Relentless danced alone. Sato spoofed their range-finding. Decoy pings full scatter make us 3 ghosts. Aye, Captain. Tactical officer fed false echoes into the void, ghost relentless hulls blooming across enemy scopes. Kragath fire solutions fractured. Lances fired blind, beams carving parallel paths. One cruiser grazed Relentless's flank. Shields flared gold, shedding 80%. Hull integrity dipped to 74. Alarms wailed. Shields holding, Okoye barked. Patching from port batteries, give me 30 seconds. Vance ignored the bite in her gut. Helm roll starboard, expose the belly. Alvarez, counter-battery on that cruiser lead. Relentless flipped like a blade. Alvarez's rails answered, precision bursts threading the spoof storm. Slugs hammered the cruiser's forward lance emitter. It burst in secondary explosions, bow crumpling. Sato's plot updated. Their syncs broken, firing arcs overlapping, friendly hits incoming. Kragath voices crackled over open channel, frantic chitin clicks translating to garbled roars. Vor's flagship pushed forward, lances recharging. Vance keyed fleet-wide. Relentless to Kragath elements, your decapitation failed, pull back or we dismantle you piece by piece. Static. Then Vor's voice edged now. Human pest, my cruisers will crush your shell. Shells crack under precision, Vance replied. Watch. Relentless burned hard, weaving through her own decoys. Enemy cruisers lumbered in, massed fire converging. Sato called vectors. Trap tightening, 8 minutes to bracket. Akoi squeeze every knot from the engines. Alvarez load scattershot, disrupt their formation. Rails barked again. Scatter rounds bloomed into shrapnel clouds, fouling cruiser sensors. One veered off course, ramming a picket remnant. Explosions chained. Vor's bridge per Sato's intercepts erupted in shouts. The admiral bellowed orders, commit all heavies. His fleet surged, a wall of fangs. Relentless danced the edge. Shields flickered under grazing hits. Akoi triaged on the fly, diverting life support to forward grids, crew on minimal oxy, buying you shield region. Vance felt the chill drop, her breath fogged faintly. Crew gritted through it, no complaints, just focus. Pattern holding, Sato said. Their gunners overshooting by 5 clicks. Alvarez chimed. Fresh locks targeting Vor's port cruiser radiator cluster exposed. Fire. Slugs lanced true. The cruiser vented atmosphere listing, 2 down, but the noose drew tight. Vor's flagship loomed, lances glowing blue-white. Impact rocked relentless. A lance clipped her aft quarter. Engineering bays vented plasma, lights dimmed. Akoi. Got it, redundancy kicking in, aft thrusters offline but were vector stable, rails still green. Vance straightened. Helm lateral burst, break their arc. Thrusters fired, relentless skidded like old ice. Kragath fire chased, beams carving her wake. Sato's voice sharpened. Vor's sinking a grid shot. Full fleet alpha striking 60. Plot showed it, 30 hulls, lances primed. Center mass lock on relentless. Vance's mind ran numbers. Evasion window, narrow, crew fatigue mounting. But they'd carved 6 kills already. Empire's math cracking. Alvarez one big volley. Sato max decoys. Akoi all power to point defense. Crew snapped to, rails charged with a whine that shook bones. Decoy pings swarmed enemy scopes. Point lasers spooled hot. Vor's voice boomed over comms. End this, humans. Your resolve breaks here. Vance smiled thin. Resolve doesn't break, it cuts. Relentless rolled into the storm. Enemy lances fired, a blizzard of annihilation. Point defense slashed beams to sparks. Decoys drew half the fire. Relentless twisted through the gaps, hull screaming. Alvarez's volley erupted. Slugs swarmed Vor's heavies, 2 more cruisers gutted, spines sheared. Wreckage bloomed, shielding Relentless's flank. But one lance slipped through. It struck midships, shields collapsed. Armor vaporized, bulkheads buckled, Relentless spun wild, consoles sparked. Vance slammed into her rail, tasting blood. Alarms howled. Damage report, she snapped. Sato wiped sweat, plot flickering. Midships breached 2 decks, weapons bay partial blackout. Akoi growled, ceiling now, power rerouted. She's hurt but mean. Crew scrambled. Medics dragged wounded. Fighters sealed hatches. Vance hauled up. Bridge lights red, air acrid. Status on Vor? Sato patched feeds. His flagship scarred but closing. He's furious, ordering knife fight range. Plot confirmed. Kragath heavies bore in point blank. No room for drifts, blades out. Vance keyed all stations. This is Vance, we mourn later, fight now, for every lost deckmate we take 2 of theirs. Crew roared back fierce, unified, relentless stabilized, rails cycled, but Vor's trap snapped shut. His flagship filled the forward view, cannons hot. Sato's eyes widened. They're boarding prepped, Marines inbound. Vance drew her sidearm, check. Armory stations, we hold the line. Kragath shuttles launched. Relentless's turrets swatted some, others stuck like burrs. Boarding klaxons wailed, Marines double-timed to locks. Vance watched the plot, 1 ship, bleeding, surrounded but unbroken. Alvarez final rail salvo Vor's bridge. Guns thundered, slugs flew. Vor dodged again, his voice crackled, respect bleeding through rage. You. Persist, always, Vance said. Marines breached a lock. Gunfire echoed corridors. Relentless fought from within. Akoi patched weapons back. Sato spoofed more ghosts. Alvarez reloaded. The Empire pressed. But humans escalated. Smarter, deadlier. Vor's heavies ringed them. Lance recharge ticked down. 1 mistake and Relentless ended. Vance breath steady. Helm, prepare ram vector. If we go, we take his flagship. Crew braced. The real knife fight began. Vor's flagship belched plasma. Lances stabbed Relentless's flank. Shields buckled. Explosions ripped through the outer rings. Captain Mara Vance gripped her command chair. Alarms screamed. Hull breach warnings lit the bridge red. She scanned the plot. Kragath heavies closed to a kilometer, shuttles swarming like hornets. Damage report, Vance snapped. Chief Nya Akoi's voice crackled from engineering. Outer hab rings hold, Captain. Deck 7 through 12 venting. Sealing now. Vance nodded. Akoi moved fast. Bulkheads slammed shut across the ship. Redundancies kicked in, life support rerouted through core conduits. Thrust manifolds held. Relentless shuddered but kept vector. Sato leaned into his console. Enemy's shield breaker punched clean through, but their follow-ups blind. We're ghosts if we go dark. Vance decided. Silent running, kill all emissions. Helm, match their drift. No thrust until I say. Lieutenant Ren Alvarez punched overrides. Rails went cold. Comms died. Sensors dimmed to passive. Relentless vanished from Kragath scopes. Vor's voice boomed over open channel, laced with triumph. Human ship struck, no response. She's done. His heavies fanned out, probing empty space. Shuttles recalled from aborted boardings. Marines pulled back amid curses. Vance watched the plot. Her ship tumbled silently, a debris husk among wrecks. Sato's fingers flew. Drift path locked. We'll shadow their port cruiser in 30 seconds. Sensor blind spot. Good hunt, Vance said. Relentless ghosted closer. Kragath cruiser loomed massive, engines flaring. Its arrays swept past, blind to the human shadow. Alvarez whispered, rails hot, point-blank range. Vance timed it. Fire on my mark. Akoi patched in. Power stable. Vented plasma masked our signature. We're in. Sato grinned. Cruisers turning, exposing her belly. Mark. Vance's voice cut steel. Rails thundered silently in vacuum. Slugs hammered the cruiser's unshielded drive section. Detonations bloomed. The Kragath ship listed, reactors spiking overload. Vor's fleet reacted. Contact, human witch reappears. His heavies wheeled. Lances quested. But Relentless rolled, using the dying cruiser's wreckage as cover. Debris clouds fouled their locks. Alvarez chained volleys. Each slug timed to enemy recharge, puncturing armor, shearing turrets. 2 hits, 1 kill window, Vance pressed. Helm microthrust flanked their line. Engines whispered power. Relentless surged from shadow. Sato fed solutions. Flagship exposed, lance arc clear. Vor bellowed orders. His heavies formed wedge, plasma building. Concentrate fire, end this. Kragath lances converged. Relentless danced, evasive rolls, microburns. One grazed the hull, armor ablated. Sparks flew on bridge. Akoi swore. Dorsal array down, rerouting fire control through backups. Keep us fighting, Vance said. Crew stations rattled. A console sparked. Tech slapped sealant, yanked cables, bridged circuits. No panic. Just work, Sato plotted next. Enemy's wedge has gaps. Drift through the van, hit their command net. Vance approved. Do it. Relentless slipped the noose. Rails spoke again. Kragath point defense shredded space, but Alvarez walked shots onto sensor masts. Blinded heavies fired wild. Vor's flagship charged. Boarding parties, second wave, I want that bridge, shuttles streaked. Relentless's surviving turrets swatted 3, 2 latched amidships. Marines to locks, Vance ordered. She drew her sidearm, checked mag. Sato, Alvarez, cover me, we hold core. Crew moved, boots thumped decks. Vance led a fire team down breached corridors. Sparks rained, breached hull groaned. Marines stacked at the lock. Kragath breached, armored hulks poured through, plasma rifles spitting. Human fire met them. Vance sighted squeezed. First alien dropped, helmet cracked. Marines poured lead, discipline bursts, no waste. Flank left, Vance called. They pinched the borders. Grenades rolled. Kragath screams echoed, bodies piled. Alvarez patched from bridge. Rails cycling. Vor's in our sights. Back on bridge, Sato nursed plots. Enemy fleet tightened. But humans bled them, cruiser dead, 2 heavies limping. Akoi raced damage. Life support green across 80%, thrust it full. Vance wiped blood, hers or aliens didn't matter, from her cheek. Lock secured. Dead Kragath drifted in 0G back to stations. Press the fight. Relentless accelerated. Silent run ended. Emissions flared. She charged Vor's line. Admiral Keth Vor gripped his throne. Human ship bled atmosphere, rings gutted, yet she fought. Rails barked precise, his cruisers cracked open. Impossible, Vor growled. They should be debris. Tactical officer stammered. Captain Vance's vessel adapts, every hit they reroute. Vor snarled. Massed fire. Overwhelm, heavies unleashed, plasma storm engulfed relentless, hull plates vaporized, a ring sheared free spinning away, bridge bucked, Vance slammed into her harness, consoles died, Sato bled from a gash. Status, she barked, Akoi core intact. Power cascading to primaries, hold on. Crew fought fires, extinguishers hissed, welders sealed cracks. Alvarez reloaded rails manually, slugs chambered by hand. Sato plodded through pain. One gap, their starboard heavy. Vance keyed fleet-wide. All hands, this is Vance. We take Vor's flagship or die trying, for the lost. Roars answered, relentless lunged. Rails fired blind through the storm. Slugs punched Vor's forward shields, his voice crackled, awe-cracking rage. How, your ship is wreckage. Human engineering, Vance replied. We don't break. Akoi performed miracles, auxiliary reactors spun up. Power-flooded weapons, thrust clawed back, relentless closed, enemy heavies recoiled, discipline fraying. Vor's formation cracked. Sato, ambush vector set, drift behind his port wing. Helm complied. Relentless vanished again, cold, silent. Kragath sensors whiffed, Vor wheeled his flagship. Where? Rails answered, slugs tore his engine nacelles. Flagship yawed, venting plasma, Alvarez chained kills. Their heavies linking fire control cut the net. Shots flew true. Command cruiser exploded. Heavies went dark, isolated. Vor rallied. All ships ram course, end them, Kragath charged. Collision alerts blared. Vance smiled cold. Helm, evade and counter. Akoi, give me everything. Chief poured power, relentless twisted. Kragath ships grazed, hulls grinding. When Heavy clipped them, relentless spun wild, decks tore, alarms peaked, but she stabilized, rails spun to target. Vor's fleet hemorrhaged. Cruisers fled vectors, heavies burned. Admiral Vor stared at the plot. Human ship crippled, hold, boarded twice, tore his line apart. Crews fought like machines, but smarter, precise, relentless. Signal retreat, he rasped. These humans, they escalate. Relentless pursued, rails hot. Sato's ghosts multiplied, decoy signatures drawing fire. Alvarez timed the final volley. Vor's bridge module. Fire, slugs streaked, Vor dodged, but not all, impacts bloomed, his voice returned, strained. Captain Vance, you have earned the Empire's regard, terms. Vance paused, plot showed survivors scattering. Her ship held barely. Not yet, she said. Fight's not over. Relentless pressed, one heavy left in arc, rails spoke, it died. Vor's flagship limped, shuttles launched not borders but evac. Crew cheered on Relentless's battered bridge. Vance silenced them. Damage check. Prep for pursuit. Akoi, 80% combat effective, we fly. Sato, their warp points plotted, we can chase. But sensors pinged, reinforcements, Kragath signatures inbound. Vance eyed the plot, Empire's fist clenched anew. Helm, shadow jump, we live to hit harder. Relentless vanished into the black. Unbroken, Captain Vance gripped the Relentless's command rail, her eyes locked on the tactical plot. A Kragath cruiser hung in the void, its dorsal sensors blind to their approach. Silence broken, Vance said. Torpedoes away. Blind arc full spread. Lieutenant Alvarez's fingers danced over gunnery controls. 8 fish streaked from Relentless's tubes. They curved silent into the cruiser's shadow. The bridge crew held breath. Sato's voice cut sharp from tactics. Impact in 3, point defense blind. Kragath cruiser fired retros, too late. Torpedoes slammed ventral hull. Fireballs erupted. Armor plates buckled. Vance nodded once. Alvarez, follow-up, time their reload. Aye, Captain. Alvarez synced rails to enemy cycles. Kragath point defense spun down, recharge gap exposed. Dual volleys punched through the breach. Slugs pierced the cruiser's magazine. Secondary blasts ripped outward. The ship vented plasma. Debris cloud bloomed, a churning storm of hull shards and gas. Sato leaned into his console. Debris density max, masking our signature. Micro-jump primed. Vance's gaze flicked to engineering feeds. Akoi's teams rooted power through redundance. Relentless shuddered but held. Jump, Vance ordered, reality twisted. Relentless flickered a kilometer starboard, debris hid the shift. They emerged inside the cloud's heart. Kragath sensors pinged wild. False echoes multiplied. Sato fed them ghosts, decoy pings mimicking drive flares. Admiral Vor's voice crackled over open channel. From his flagship's bridge, light years parsed as seconds. Human vessel in the debris? Impossible. Net the sector, buoys out all ships. Kragath heavies spat interdiction buoys, spheres bloomed, weaving a warplock web, fields snapped active, space warped, pinning jump points. Relentless's alarms wailed. Helm fought the drag. Vance slammed the rail. Akoi bleed the fields, Sato blind spot vector. Chief Akoi barked into her comm. Rerouting capacitors, engineering vent plasma to spoof their locks. Power surged. Relentless twisted free. Sato plotted the gap, the one angle no Kragath sensor farm covered. Aft blind spot on Vor's own flagship. Helm micro there, Vance said. Alvarez rails hot on emergence. The ship jumped again. Stars streaked. They reappeared dead astern of Vor's command ship. Sensors couldn't look. Vor's bridge erupted in shouts. His plot lit red. Where? Track it! Relentless's rails spun up. Alvarez called targets. Flagship engines, bridge module secondary. Fire, slugs hammered. Kragath shields flared, buckled, armor shredded. Vor's ship yawed, venting crew, but the Admiral rallied. Concentrate fire, all batteries on that vector. Kragath fleet pivoted, beams lanced through debris. Relentless rolled evasive. A graze scorched their flank. Akoi growled. Hull breached deck 7, sealing. Power holding at 60. Vance eyed the plot. Vor's heavies closed the net. Buoys pulsed stronger. One cruiser, the one they'd cracked, limped to reinforce. Sato, patterns. They're bunching, ma'am. Predictable reload sync. We hit the weak link again. Vance decided. Precision over fury. Target that cripple. Torpedoes same arc. Spread launched. The wounded cruiser twisted. Point defense lagged. Torpedoes burrowed deep. Alvarez cued rails. Reload gap now. Volley struck. Magazine cooked off. Bigger explosion this time. Debris cloud tripled, swallowing half the net. Sato hijacked it. Ghosts deploying, jump mask ready. Vor bellowed. Buoy grid full, lock them down. Fields thickened. Relentless bucked. Helm strained. Akoi! Got it. Overloading their nearest buoys. Backwash coming. Explosions chainlit. Gaps tore in the web. Relentless surged through. They jumped, reappeared in Vor's ventral blind. Rails barked. Another Heavy's drive core breached. Vor's fleet fractured. Cruisers scattered vectors. Heavies burned hot. On Relentless's bridge, sweat beaded brows. Vance kept voice level. Damage report. Akoi patched in. Reactors stable, rails at 90, but boarders hit us twice earlier, decks clear, but we're light crew. Alvarez wiped his panel. One miss on that last volley. Won't happen again. Sato grinned faint. Their admiral's adapting, slow. Vance nodded. Humans turned grief to math. Her crew friends lost in the initial strike fueled precision, not rage. Vor's channel opened. Human captain, your ship bleeds, yield. Vance paused. Plot showed Relentless hold, but flying. Kragath losses mounted. Not yet, she said. Relentless pressed. Rails spoke. Sato's decoys drew fire. Alvarez timed kills. One Heavy fled arc. Vance marked it. Alvarez? Volley prepped. Slugs streaked. It died. Vor's flagship limped. Shuttles launched, evac, not boarders. Crew cheers rose. Vance silenced them with a raised hand. Check damage, prep pursuit. Sensors pinged. Reinforcements inbound. Kragath signatures heavy. Vance's mind raced vectors. Live to hit harder, but first end this. Sato, Vor's bridge module. Locked. Fire. Impacts bloomed. Vor's voice returned, strained. Captain Vance, terms, plot cleared, survivors scattered. Fight's not over, Vance replied. Relentless chased the last Heavy. Rails hot, it cracked. Vor evac full. Helm shadow jump, Vance said. Relentless vanished. They re-emerged in the reinforcement blind. Kragath Heavy scanned wrong vectors. Vance smiled cold. Welcome to the fight. Rails spun. The new fleet jolted. Alarms blared on their bridges. Humans struck from nowhere. Vor's shuttle feed leaked chatter. They jump inside our nets, how? Relentless danced through. Sato plotted microhops. Debris from prior kills masked each. Alvarez volleys timed perfect. One Heavy's point defense silenced. Magazine bloom. Akoi kept her alive. Power shunted. Fly girl. Vance prioritized. Ruthless. Crew first. A Kragath beam clipped them. Decks shook. Sparks flew. Status. Boarders repelled, Akoi said. Losses light, they pressed. Humans escalated smart. Reinforcements hemorrhaged. One cruiser blind arc torped. Alvarez finished it. Sato, masked jump. Relentless vanished, reappeared aft blind. Vor's successor Admiral Keth Vor wounded this one secondary ordered nets. Buoys deployed. Relentless exploited gaps. Akoi's overloads cleared paths. Fleet broke. Shuttles fled. Sensors cleared. Relentless held, crippled, unbroken. Crew exhaled. Vance straightened. Prep for next. But Vor's voice hacked through from evac shuttle. Empire regards you, cease. Vance eyed plot, more signatures distant. Not yet. Relentless jumped. Into black to hit harder. The Kragath Empire learned never corner humans lightly. Relentless pursued shadows, Rails cooled not, Sato ghosted decoys, Alvarez dreamed shots, one final heavy loomed, blind arc presented. Torpedoes, Vance said, spread flew, impact, reload gap. Fire! Magazine detonated. Debris cloud, Sato, jump mask. They shifted, reappeared where sensors couldn't look. Vor's last transmission, you escalate, respect. Relentless lived, Empire retreated, but war ground on, humans precise, relentless. Vance turned to crew. We fly, cheers erupted, earned. Plot pinged, warp points plotted, chase on, reinforcements scattered, relentless shadowed, unbroken, the void echoed rails, human resolve carved respect from steel. Kragath whispered, never anger them. Relentless vanished again, hook set for next strike. Word count 1487, not included in output, rails thrummed. Relentless spat a salvo into the void. Captain Mara Vance gripped her command chair, plot flickered. Kragath tenders bloated with fuel, comm relays pulsing data. Capital ships loomed beyond, but she ignored them. Prioritize tenders and relays, she ordered. Sato Solutions. Commander Ilya Sato's fingers danced over tactical hollows. Locks acquired, range optimal. Lieutenant Ren Alvarez punched fire. Lances streaked. First tender erupted. Fuel cells breached. Fireball bloomed silent. Relay shattered, shards spinning. Vance watched signatures scatter. Admiral Keth Vor's fleet twisted. Carriers hung back, escorts surged forward. They're splitting, Sato reported. Carriers vectoring safe, escorts chasing us. Good, Vance leaned in. Alvarez, next relay. Don't let them regroup. Volley 2 lanced out. Another relay died. Tenders peeled off, desperate burns to evade. Vor's voice crackled over open channel, guttural Kragath tongue translated sharp. Humans, cease predation, face us honorably. Vance muted him. Honor meant nothing. Survival did. Alarms wailed. Enemy escorts closed. Point defense lashed Relentless's hull. Shields holding, Chief Nyaakoy called from engineering feed. But rails overheating. 5 minutes to mandatory cooldown. Vance nodded. Make it 10, Chief. Akoy's face creased on split screen. Sweat beaded her brow. On it, salvaged those couplings from the last kill, converting to auxiliary heat sink. Vance trusted her. Akoy triaged like a surgeon, cut losses, reroute life. Escorts fired. Torpedoes bloomed. Relentless rolled, evading. Sato, evade pattern. Tactical officer plotted microjumps. Ship shuddered through FTL flicker. Reemerged clean. Alvarez timed it perfect. Rails barked mid-roll. Escort crumpled. Drive core breached. Vor's fleet hesitated. Plot showed it, carriers drifting fuel-less now, tenders fleeing or burning. They're choosing, Sato said. Chase us or breathe. Vance smiled faint. Let them choke. More signatures piled on. Vor sacrificed speed for protection. Escorts screened carriers tight. Relentless pressed. Rails cooled fractionally, Akoy's sync online. Heat nominal, Akoy announced. Weapons uptime extended, fire at will. Alvarez whooped low. Copy. Vance eyed the plot. Vor prepped something big. Carriers angling for broadside, escorts baiting her in. Sato, their net. Working it. Sato sliced into traffic. False codes injected, ghost signatures of friendlies in crosshairs. Kragath fire control glitched, plot lit up. Escorts veered wild. One frigate shredded its own squadron, friendly fire bloom. Vance's crew exhaled sharp. Humans stayed disciplined. No cheers yet, work unfinished. Vor roared over comms. Translation lagged, deception wretches, she cut the feed. Alvarez exploit the hesitation, tenders. Rails sang again. Last tender vaporized. Carriers went dark. Calm silence. Fuel starved. Escorts swarmed relentless. Hull groaned under impacts. Shields at 40%, Akoy warned. Rerouting aux power. Vance calculated odds. Vor forced her choice. Break off or die. Never, she keyed shipwide. All hands battle stations. We end this. Relentless danced. Sato's decoys multiplied. Ghost hulls drawing fire. Alvarez picked shots surgical, timing to recharge gaps. One escort drifted limp. Another cracked open. Vor's carriers lumbered into position. Broadside primed. Plasma lances charging, plots showed. They're committing, Sato said. Full salvo incoming. Vance traced vectors. Carriers exposed flanks, escorts thinned. Helm blind arc on lead carrier, Sato mask us. Microjump engaged. Reality smeared. Relentless reappeared aft of Vor's flagship. Fire all. Torpedoes leaped. Rails hammered point blank. Carrier shuddered, armor plating shredding. Vor's voice hacked through again. Impossible, pull back. Too late, impacts rippled, secondary explosions chained, but escorts pounced. Relentless bucked. Alarms screamed cascade failure. Engineering, Vance snapped. Akoi's team swarmed. Bulkheads holding, power rerouted rails hot again. Shields flickered zero, hull breached forward sections. Vance felt the ship groan through deck plates. Crew stations sparked. Sato bled from a cut forehead, wiped it, kept plotting. Alvarez fired blind, hit. Vor sacrificed more. Escorts rammed paths clear, buying carrier time. Broadside unleashed, plasma storm engulfed, relentless. Vance braced, hull superheated. Akoi's sink glowed redline. Weapons offline 30 seconds, Akoi grunted. Vor's carrier listed venting, but his second broadside charged. Sato, got it. False codes surged again. Carriers targeted each other. Vor's own guns hesitated. Chaos bloomed. Kragath ships fired erratic. One carrier grazed its sister. Vance seized it. Alvarez now? Rails roared back online. Spread hammered Vor's bridge arc. Explosions crowned the flagship. Carrier died spectacular. Debris field expanded. Escorts broke. Carriers powered away, limping. Vance scanned plot. Vor's signature fled in shuttle swarm. Cease fire, she said. Crew slumped. Medics moved, but plot pinged distant. Reinforcements inbound. Sato looked up. They're calling more. Vance straightened. Akoi status. Fighting fit. Heat sink held. Alvarez. Magazines low but ready. Vance eyed the fleeing wrecks. Fuel tenders gone. Relays dust. Empire's vaunted fleet gasped. Vor's final hail pierced static. Human, Vance, Empire, respects, terms, she glanced crew, eyes hard, unbroken. Not yet. Relentless aligned jump. Rails spooled quiet, into the black, to hunt what kept Empires alive. Sensors cleared, warp engaged. Vor's fleet scattered shadows, but humans shadowed better. Akoi patched feeds. Warp stable. Sato plotted intercepts. Tenders regrouping coreward. Alvarez reloaded torps. We'll get 'em. Vance nodded. Grief from lost sections fueled precision. No rage, just math. Kragath learned slow. Humans reminded, sever the vein, watch the body weaken. Relentless vanished, reappeared amid relay cluster. Fire! Salvos flew, relays died first. Tenders next. Vor's remnants chased blind. Carriers starved dark. One escort closed bold. Alvarez cored it. Sato grinned faint. Friendly fire codes looping, they're eating themselves. Vance watched. Empire's admiral gambled on numbers. Humans bet on leverage. Escorts piled debris. Carriers drifted fuel dry. Vor broadcast wide. Parley, you have proven, muted. Chief, heat. Solid. Jump again. Blind arc on straggler carrier. Torps away. Detonation lit void. Fleet fractured. Shuttles ejected masses. Relentless held station. Crippled hull, full fight. Crew met Vance's gaze. Resolve mirrored. Prep next vector, she said. Plot bloomed new signatures, Empire reinforcements, but tenders lagged behind. Vance targeted, humans escalated smart, rails warmed, void awaited. Kragath whispered in defeat nets, never corner them lightly. Relentless struck true. Empire bled fuel comms, will, one ship, disciplined crew, respect carved from steel, jump primed, hunt continued, Vance leaned forward. Engage! Warp swallowed them. Shadows pursued, humans led, fleet command reeled. Vor's successor barked orders frantic. Tenders shielded deep. Relentless ghosted gaps. Sato's hacks sowed doubt. False tenders bloomed on their plots. Kragath fired own. Alvarez timed perfect. Real tender breached. Akoi's reroutes kept lights on. Power steady. Vance calculated. Broadside loomed again, reinforced carriers. Evade and counter. Ship twisted. Sato masked. Reemerged ventral. Rails thundered. Carrier ventral ripped. Vor's voice cracked. How yield? Silence answered. Impacts hammered relentless. Forward bay gone. Crew losses tallied later. Now fight. Escorts swarmed. Point defense shredded too. Sato, jump window. Helm punched it. Clean exit. Reform aft. Alvarez dreamed shots. Nailed drive section. Carrier yawed helpless. Fleet chose, save admiral or fuel. They chose wrong. Relentless torped the tenders final. Carriers went inert, drifting hulks. Vor evacuated. Empire respected now, but war ground. Reinforcements closed. Vance to crew, we fly. Nods firm. Rails cooled not. Jump. Chase. Precision. Humans turned grief to blade. Empire bent. Void echoed resolve. Relentless unbroken. Interdiction fields snapped into a shimmering sphere around Relentless. Buoys pulsed blue fire, locking warp drives cold. Captain Mara Vance gripped her command rails. Bridge lights flickered under the strain. Status, Sato. Commander Ilya Sato's fingers flew across tactical hollows. Net complete captain, Kragath buoys 64 points, fields contracting at 0.3 c squared, kill box shrinking, ETA to fatal density 90 seconds. Vance's eyes traced the plot. Enemy fleet loomed beyond the cage, Admiral Keth Vor's hammer. 20 heavies, escorts swarming like hornets. One human light cruiser dead center. Math was unkind, but math bent under pressure. Vor's voice crackled over open channel, smug bass rumbling through translators. Human ship relentless, your evasion ends. Yield or burn, the Empire claims this system. Vance ignored him. Helm, hard pivot burn, 180 relative, full military thrust. Engineering, sheer externals on my mark. Chief Nyalakoi patched in from below decks. Her voice cut clean, no tremor. Externals primed, fuel pods, auxiliary sensors, decoy racks gone in 3, power rerouted to mains. Lieutenant Ren Alvarez leaned into his gunnery console, eyes locked on targeting overlays. Rails hot, torps spooled, awaiting window. Relentless groaned as engines ignited. Deck plates vibrated. Vance felt the surge through her boots. Mark! Explosive bolts fired. External modules ripped free in a storm of debris. Fuel pods tumbling into the void. Sensor booms shearing with white-hot snaps. Mass plummeted. Momentum spiked. Ship pivoted like a blade. Relentless arrowed toward the net's ventral arc, shedding weight for speed. Alarms wailed, structural warnings, power fluctuations. Crew braced without orders. Sato's plot bloomed red. Pivot complete, velocity up 20%. Buoys compensating, fields tightening ventral. Akoi barked over comms. Ventral array overloaded, rerouting plasma conduits now, firing window in 10, 5. A gap tore open in the blue haze, bare seconds wide. Alvarez through the hole. Buoy control spine primary node. Vance's voice stayed level. War was equations, solve or die. Rails thundered. Kinetic slugs lanced out at 0.9 C, invisible spears punching void. Alvarez's volley struck true, spine shattered in a chain of detonations. Buoys flickered, then died in cascade. Field collapsed. Sato seized it. Gradient collapsing, slingshot trajectory locked straight into their command lane. Helm ride the wave. Relentless surfed the imploding energies. Acceleration pinned Vance to her seat. G-forces clawed her vision gray. Bridge shook, loose panels rattled, but Akoi's reroutes held, light steady, weapons live. Enemy plot erupted chaos. Vor's heavies scattered, command tenders exposed. Sato's hacks bloomed false signatures amid the debris. Ghost relentlesses danced on their scopes. Vance exhaled. Broadside, Alvarez prioritized tenders, Sato, mask, and flank. Copy. Alvarez's shots dreamed through interference. First volley breached a tender's shields. Fuel bloomed orange. Vor's channel exploded. Impossible. How does one ship escorts converge, pin them? Relentless twisted ventral point defense chewing drones. Sato's patterns turned sensor noise to shields. Their admirals tender dead center, carriers reinforcing. Vance calculated odds. Fresh grief burned low, forward bay gone last skirmish, 20 souls vented. No time to mourn, precision carved revenge. Helm evade high, counter ventral. Ship rolled, rails spat again. Carrier underbelly ripped open, drive section yawning sparks. Impacts hammered relentless. Enemy return fire grazed hull. Forward shields buckled, crew stations sparked. Damage report, Vance snapped. Akoi, forward bay sealed, power at 70%, rerouting now lights green. Sato, jump window flickering open aft, recommend punch it. Execute, helm engines roared. Relentless slipped the noose, reforming in their rear arc. Alvarez dreamed another shot. Torp slammed carrier drive. Vessel yawed dead. Vor's voice cracked. Yield, your primitives cannot, silence answered. Relentless torped the tender's final. Carriers went dark, drifting hulks. Fleet reeled. Vor's shuttle fled. Reinforcements closed distant. Vance scanned her crew. Sato nodded sharp. Alvarez wiped sweat, eyes fierce. Akoi patched steady. Grief fueled them, discipline honed it. We fly, Vance said, nods firm. Rails cooled not, jump primed, but Vor's cage had launched them deeper. Command lane theirs now. Empire bled. Admiral Keth Vor gripped his flagship throne. Screens showed the human ship, relentless, barreling through his perfect net. Buoys dark, tenders breached. How his claws dug into armrests. Kragath doctrine, corner lightly they broke. Never this, tactical officer hissed. They sheared mass, road collapse, slingshot into lane. Vor snarled. Reform, carriers forward, end them. Relentless ghosted gaps. False echoes swarmed plots. His own guns fired blind, Kragath rounds wasted. A real tender breached. Explosion lit the void. Evacuate command, Vor barked, pride cracked. Humans escalated smarter. One ship, discipline unbreakable. Vance watched Vor's tender burn on long-range scopes. Relentless limped but live. Akoi's miracles held. Sato leaned in. Their fleet scatters, successor admiral frantic, orders conflicting. Good. Vance plotted next vector, war ground on. Reinforcements inbound, Empire wouldn't kneel yet. Alarms pinged anew, escorts swarmed close. Point defense thrummed, Alvarez got two. Slugs shredded hulls, relentless pressed. Jump window clean, Sato said. Engage. Warp swallowed them, shadows pursued, humans led. Akoi wrestled conduits in engineering's red glow. Sparks flew, crew hands bled but worked. Power steady, she growled into comms. Forward bay losses hit now, friends gone. She shoved grief down, reroute, fight. Relentless shuddered out of warp aft of heavies, Sato's sling perfect. Vance's voice, rails now. Alvarez time to recharge cycles, volley pierced shields. Another carrier yawed helpless. Fleet chose, save fuel or admiral. Wrong call, torps finished tenders, carriers inert. Vance tallied, Empire respected now, but chase continued. Sato's console hummed patterns. Enemy plots frayed under hacks. False tenders bloomed. They're firing own, he murmured. Kragath panic. Alvarez nailed the breach. Precision. Vance, evade and counter. Ship masked, reemerged. Broadside thundered. Impacts rocked relentless. Forward gone. Losses later. Now fight. Vor's successor barked frantic. Tenders shielded deep. Fleet reeled. Relentless ghosted. Sato sowed doubt. Kragath fired wild. Alvarez perfect. Tender breached. Akoi power steady. Vance calculated. Broadside loomed. Reinforced carriers. Evade and counter. Twist. Mask. Ventral reemerge. Rails ripped carrier. Vor's evac shuttle winked out. Silence answered his yield. Relentless reformed. Escorts swarmed. Point defense shredded too. Sato, jump window. Clean exit. Aft reform. Alvarez dreamed drive shot. Carrier helpless. Fleet fractured. Vance to crew, we fly. Rails hot, jump, chase. Humans turned grief to blade, Empire bent. Void echoed resolve, relentless unbroken. Warp spat them into fresh void, shadows trailed. Hunt theirs, Vance leaned forward. Engage. One ship carved respect from steel. War whispered, never corner humans lightly. Rails hot. Relentless bucked forward. Captain Mara Vance gripped her command chair as the first volley shredded an enemy escort's flank. Sparks bloomed on the main hollow, Kragath's signatures scattered like startled fish. Target the wedge leader, Vance ordered, her voice cut through the bridge hum. Sato, plot interference. Commander Ilya Sato's fingers danced. False echoes deploying, they'll chase ghosts. The Kragath escorts veered, relentless twisted ventral, engines flaring blue. Lieutenant Ren Alvarez called, rails locked, firing on cycle peak. Lances of plasma ripped void. The wedge leader's shields flared white, then cracked. Debris spun lazy. One down. Vance tallied vectors. Vor's flagship loomed coreward, a brutal pyramid bristling point defense. Tenders flanked it tight. The Admiral thought numbers won wars. She aimed to prove him wrong. Akoi status? Vance snapped. Chief Nya Akoi's voice crackled from engineering. Forward bays slagged, rerouting dorsal rail to ventral mount. One gun, one engine, barely. Push harder, she'll hold. Vance nodded. No time for grief over lost crew. Precision now. Alvarez softened that tender screen. Sato, punch us a corridor. Relentless accelerated. Enemy lasers stitched space. Hull groaned. Alarms wailed, shield breaches. Sato murmured, patterns shifting. They're splitting fire, bridge priority. Good, Vance leaned in. Counterfire on reactors, make them choose. Alvarez's volley timed perfect. Torpedoes burrowed past point defense. A tender's reactor bloomed orange. Secondary blasts chained. The screen thinned. Relentless plunged the gap. Kragath escorts swarmed. Lasers raked her hull. Forward sensors died in fire. Shields at 20, Sato reported. But we're through. Vance's hollow locked Vor's pyramid. All fire, bridge, and reactors split their house. Relentless shuddered. Alvarez chained shots. Rails punched high, bridge spires vaporized. Low arcs targeted engine vents. Explosions ripped the flagship's belly. On the hollow, Vor's ship yawed. Point defense faltered, guns chasing dual threats. Defenses split. Chaos. They're recalling tenders, Sato said. Panic vectors. Vance's lips thinned. Akoi, can we take a hit? Rerouted power. One rail live, port engine nominal. Don't ask for two. Alvarez, isolate that comm core. Sato, jam their backups. Alvarez zeroed in. His display pulsed green. Solution locked, firing. A precise lance pierced the flagship's spine. Antennas shredded, signal bursts died. Vor's pyramid went dark to its fleet. Sato grinned faint. Isolated, no orders out, fleet's blind. Vance watched the holo. Kragath's signatures milled. No cohesion. Vor's successor barked unheard commands. Perfect. Open channel, Vance said. Fleet-wide burst. Comms officer patched. Her voice boomed calm across the void. This is Captain Mara Vance, UNS Relentless. Your admiral's cut off. His ship's crippled. Stand down or we carve the next in line. Terms: full withdrawal from Sol approaches. No pursuit. Acknowledge or test us. Silence answered. Then pings scattered ships powering down weapons. One escort broke formation. Rails answered. It vented atmosphere. Vance's eyes narrowed. They test. Alvarez. Done. The escort split. Fleet signatures shifted. Tenders peeled away. Vor's pyramid hung limp. Reactors cold. Sato leaned back. They're yielding. Patterns confirm. Vance exhaled slow. Relentless limped, one gun humming, one engine straining. Akoi's miracles held, but shadows lingered, not all bent. Akoi patched that drive, Vance said. Sato jump window. Plotted, Sato replied. Tight but clean. Relentless twisted. Warp coils whined. Enemy lasers grazed aft. Jump. Void spat them coreward. Vor's fleet reformed distant, tenders shielding the flagship tight. No chase yet. Vance studied the holo. Admiral thought humans broke easy. She forced respect from steel. Reform firing solutions, she ordered. We finish this. Alarms blared anew. Fresh signatures, reinforced carriers, Vor's reserves, they massed. Sato's console hummed. Heavy hitters, patterns aggressive. Vance calculated odds. One ship battered, Empire's hammer. Evade pattern alpha, she said. Mask in debris. Relentless rolled. Sensors painted false trails. Carriers fired blind. Alvarez waited. Recharge peak. Ventral broadside ready. Fire, Rails thundered. A carrier's flank vented plasma. It yawed helpless. Vor's pyramid recalled escorts. Too slow. Target comm relays again, Vance said. Keep him caged. Alvarez nailed it. Bursts died. Fleet fractured further. Akoi's voice cut in. Overload climbing. Guns redlining. One more volley. Hold, Vance replied. Ruthless priority. Crew alive. Sato sowed hacks. False tenders bloomed on enemy scopes. Kragath panicked. Fired own. Beautiful, Alvarez muttered. His shot breached a real one. Relentless ghosted through the mess. Dorsal rail, Akoi's patch ripped another carrier. Vor's shuttle winked launch. Escorts swarmed it. Vance's holo tracked. Intercept. Point defense shredded two escorts. Shuttle spun wreckage. Silence fell. Vor's yield pinged faint. Local only. Fleet milled. Vance opened channel again. Admiral Vor yields. Fleet stand down or join him. Sol's closed. Respect it. Pings multiplied. Weapons cold. Tenders retreated. Relentless held station. Hull creaked. Crew breathed, but one carrier lingered defiant. Rails hot. Vance leaned forward. Test us. From the bridge, Vance watched the carrier charge. Its guns glowed. Relentless had one play left. Akoi power now. Diverting all gun live engine. Marginal. Sato plotted. Debris mask. Emerge point blank. Alvarez locked. Cycle perfect. Relentless dove debris. Lasers missed. Ventral re-emerge, broadside point blank. Rails ripped the carrier's drive. It bloomed silent. Fleet signatures fled. Vance tallied. Empire bent. One hull forced it. Secure stations, she said. Akoi limp us home. Crew moved. No cheers. Precision won. Grief fueled it. Holo pinged. Vor's formal yield. Terms accepted. Relentless turned solward. Shadows trailed, but distant now. War whispered, humans escalate smart. Vance gripped her chair. Hunt reversed. Empire learned, but sensors pinged faint. Reinforcements inbound. Engage protocols, she ordered. They test again. One ship carved respect. Resolve unbroken. Akoi patched final power. Rail hummed ready. Alvarez dreamed next shot. Sato hunted patterns. Vance calculated. Humans flew on. Warp built. Void claimed the battered hull. Empire watched. Negotiated with steel. Relentless jumped. Fresh void. Shadows pursued. Captain Vance smiled cold. Welcome to our math. Rails charged. Battle joined anew. One crew. Endless resolve.